I got to the point where I was planning a date time and how I would do it. And I remember sitting in my car and crying out to God with all my heart, crying out to God and asking if he was real. I asked him, if you're real, show me right now, because if you're not real, there's no reason for me to be here. I remember there was just such an ache in my heart. I walked around with this ache in my heart. It hurt so bad. I just wanted to cry all the time. But to everybody else, I would smile and act normal. I would act happy. I'd put a mask on, and I was so tired of doing that. I was so tired of doing that. I would take substances to help myself numb the pain, but nothing was working at this point, and that was just making things worse. I was in between jobs working as a Lyft driver, and I even said to God at that time, I said, if God is real, I'm probably going to hell anyways, so what's the point? I'm not a good person. I've done bad things. I know I have. And so, because I thought, God was only like a judgment type thing, where you judge you and you've sinned, so you're going to hell. So I thought, well, that's gonna be me. But I said that out loud. And I cried and cried. Um, until finally I was waiting for a ride for the next passenger. Finally, there was an alert on my phone for the next passenger, and so I wiped my tears. I put my sunglasses on. I put on a fake smile like I was always used to doing. Nobody would be able to tell that I was ever upset. I would redo my makeup, all those things. And so I just drive right down the street to the grocery store to pick up this passenger. And I pulled up, and at the time, a middle-aged woman, maybe in her 40s, gets in my car, and she immediately turns to me and takes my hands very gently, and she says, "Can I pray for you?" And no one had ever asked me that before in my entire 25 years of life. And I said, "Okay, sure." And she begins to tell me that these were her exact words. She said, "Jesus is wrapped around you so tightly right now, and he's not letting you go." And I remember just feeling this vibration like all around me of just like warmth and love. And it was amazing. And I was crying. And she said, he's sorry. He's sorry about your real father, because I've never known my dad. And she said, he just can't be a dad right now, but Jesus says that he wants you to call him your father, and that he loves you, and that you are not going